Attention!
Welcome to the Film Mages Podcast, where the popcorn is our ammunition, the couch is our foxhole, and the cinema is a place of worship.
Now let me see your war face. Ah!
What was the best gift you got for Christmas?
Oh man,
Other
dude,
than my
so
friendship.
many of them. Oh, that's really the gift that keeps on taking.
It's
isn't
hard to beat. I gotta say, hard to beat.
Ugh.
Well, so for the listeners listening to this, I actually am in Oregon right now. I'm coming in remotely on this episode, and I am.
Yeah, this is something.
I'm probably
something that may happen more.
Yeah, I'm probably at least 600. I don't know exactly how far away. I'm 600 at least miles away, and I somehow have gotten to the episode before our co-host Alexis, who is running what?
Yeah.
How late now is that?
An hour and 7 minutes from
An hour
when we
and 7 minutes
initially
late.
said we were gonna.
I got here first. This is
Yeah,
great.
I'm looking at Mick on Zoom, and he's looking fucking cozy as all hell.
I am wearing my sweater, my one of 3 sweaters.
Yeah.
This is my second out of 3, and it's very comfy.
Yes. So I got a question about that. What's going on?
There it is. I thought you were gonna wait until Alexis got here to do the what's going on, but fuck it.
No, absolutely
We'd be waiting
not.
here for another 20
Fuck
minutes.
it. Yeah.
What is going on? Okay.
What is going on? Well,
Sure.
We're recording on to date ourselves, which would be such a treat.
I know. I'm already dating myself, and I have to say, folks, at home, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend.
Very satisfied.
It is very,
Very
satisfying. I
satisfying.
know all my ins and outs.
Yeah.
There's no guesswork.
Every crook and cranny. Anyway, so we're recording on December 15th at 4 p.m., which means that in 8.5 hours-ish, I will be seated at the
Oh, God.
Universal City Walk AMC to experience James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water in glorious IMAX 3D.
When will this happen?
At 12:30.
A.M.
Yep.
What day?
Dark 30. Today. Or
Oh.
technically tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Wait, so that's tonight. You're going to go see this tonight.
Yes.
Wow.
A couple of my friends are coming over here to rewatch the first Avatar
Oh, that's
on
amazing.
Mixed Glorious Large Television. And
I-
then we're going to head straight to the AMC.
You know, as you know, I bought tickets for both Alexis and I, and she ducked out because she legit does not want to see this film. And I offered to her, like, do you want to rewatch the original just to prime ourselves for it? And she looked at me like I had just broken the neck of a young rabbit or something. She was so distraught and appalled by the fact that I would ask her if she ever wanted to rewatch the original Avatar. So you know what,
That's
Zach,
so-
I
so
hate to
fucked
say
up.
this, but I'm jealous. I wish I was there. I wish I was enjoying
Of
the
course
first
you
Avatar.
are. I wish you were here too, buddy. I see you.
I
see
see you, Jake Sully. Oh, God. You know,
I'm
so,
Jake Sully from the Jarhead clan.
of the Jarhead clan, that's right. You forget which side you're playing for?
I can't wait for it. I'm so excited. I must tell you, I think I'm gonna blue myself before I go.
You're gonna blow yourself? Or you blew yourself, excuse me?
Blue myself.
You're gonna
I'm
blow yourself. There's a
myself.
difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Uh,
Much like Tobias Feudke.
Yes. You know, I have to say, the initial reactions to Avatar: The Way of Water obviously were overwhelmingly positive, but I did see the new New York Times that said that it's extravagant and gorgeous, but forgettable, similar to the first one. So I am curious, because now
Well,
we're
you
starting
know-
to get reviews that are coming in from both sides, so I am curious to see where I land, but I will undeniably be seeing it in
I've been,
theaters.
for years and years, I've been sold a bill of goods that
Yeah.
Avatar is so forgettable, but we keep talking
No,
about how
we
forgettable it is.
We do. We keep quoting
We keep talking about how everybody's forgotten.
Yeah.
No one remembers any of the characters, like Jake Sully.
it. Yeah. I honestly...
Interesting. Seems like you remember Jake Sully.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't remember that much about it, other than we are not in Kansas anymore. We are on Pandora. everything that flies, crawls, or squats behind that fence wants to kill you or eat your eyes for jujubes. We have an indigenous population called the Na'vi. They're fond of arrows dipped in a neurotoxin that will stop your heart in 1 minute. And they have a bone structure with naturally occurring carbon fiber. They're very hard to kill. As head of security, it's my job to keep you alive. I will not succeed, not with all of you. So yeah, I don't remember that much about it.
Yeah, you don't remember any of the iconic monologue from Colonel Miles Quaritch.
Dude, I still can't believe I worked with him.
Mick.
I've been
Mick
looking
worked
back
with
on
Mr.
all
Stephen
the actors that I have worked with this year, and Stephen Lang, or Slang. For those of you who don't know, he goes by Slang. He prefers that you call him Slang to his face.
That's so fucking cool.
Yeah, when I first saw him on set, he walked in, he was kind of crouched over. I was like, oh no, Stephen Lang is getting old. And then they yelled cut, and he immediately like perked up, and I realized, oh no, he's just in character. And he took off like his raincoat or whatever, and he was wearing a tank top underneath. And you can see this man is still ripped. This man
jacked.
The only way you can kill him is by throwing a spear into his heart. Oh wait, no,
it's actually a massive arrow.
That doesn't even do it because he's still alive. So I don't know how you kill this man. Maybe with a turkey baster.
Oh, yeah, I had a similar experience last year working on a commercial that J.K. Simmons was on.
That's right.
It was a farmer's insurance thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a farmer's insurance thing, and he's wearing a suit the whole time. And then at the end of the day, like way off in the distance, I kind of see someone, and it's through a car window, so I can like see. I can't see their head, but I can just see a tank top and like giant arms.
Right.
And then I hear someone go, "Hey, have a good one, JJ." And then he walks out from behind the car, and or have a good one, JK. I called him JJ.
You call him JJ, I'm sure.
J. Jonah Jameson. He would have fucking killed me.
I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it was also like 120 degrees that day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If I had busted out my J. Jonah Jameson impression, I think he would have just fucking snapped me like a twig.
Probably.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win in mindfully a gentlemanly bout of fisticuffs? Would it be J.K. Simmons or J.J. Simmons or Stephen Lang? Who do you think would win?
Stephen Lang seems like he has more reach.
I don't know if I agree with that. His arms aren't super long.
Stephen Lang, how tall is Stephen Lang? This is a good conversation to have. Let's keep filling the airways.
People can Google this and it will probably prove me wrong. But if I had to guess, I would say 5'9", 5'10".
Okay, so J.K. Simmons is probably around the same. I think J.K. Simmons might pull it out because, like,
I might be with you, and I don't know if you would ask me why. Maybe it's because I haven't met him yet, but he terrifies me. Stephen Lang, I sort of look up to, which is not good at all. It's probably a red flag. But yeah, J.K. Simmons kind of scares me a little bit. And I still haven't seen Whiplash. So I don't know.
Oh, see, there was a point on that shoot where a grid like came down. It wasn't secured properly. And it came down near J.K. Simmons.
JJ?
And I saw a look on his face that I have only seen in the movie Whiplash. And I was so scared.
That's awesome.
I was so... Like, he was very nice to work with. He was... It was when mask restrictions were loosening, and I was working in the COVID department on this job.
Yeah.
And he was, like, very intense about, like, everybody mask up!
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, so...
Loosening the restrictions? Ridiculous!
When I worked with Stephen Lang, it was raining heavily. We were filming this very emotional scene out in the woods of Mill Valley, California. And I'm there walking... I think I've told you this story already, but the listeners haven't heard it. I'm walking with him with an umbrella over his head, and someone asked me over walkie, are you traveling with Stephen? And I go into walkie saying, yes, I'm traveling with Party Crasher. And he turns around, he slowly turns around and gets this smile on his face and goes, did you just call me Party Crasher? For those of you who don't know, Stephen Lang played a character called Party Crasher in a James Woods, and what's the name of the guy who was in?
Michael J. Fox.
Thank you. Michael J. Fox film from the 80s called The Hard Way. And Stephen Lang plays a character who's basically a terrorist. and he plays the character, the party crasher, and he's absolutely balls to the walls, insane in that film. Not a great movie, but a great character. And when he heard me say that, he turned around and he just looked so elated. And he's like, no one's called me that for years. And he said it like Party Crasher. So then we're going down to say, we're talking about that character and how he wishes that film had received more acclaim than it did. And he's there ready to do the scene. And he's waiting for sound. He's waiting for camera. He's waiting for all of the logistical elements to line up so that he can do this take, because he's waiting in the cold rain. And, he's waiting kind of patiently until he just kind of turns around and looks at everybody and goes, let's go! Like really sorry, the dogs are and he says that like 3 feet from my face, because I'm there holding the umbrella over him. And Stephen Lang turning around and just yelling, let's go, to my face. God.
It thrilled you.
I needed new shorts. It was...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You're looking at a man who just got
off.
Zach, what have you seen lately? What are some movies you want to talk about?
Well, last night, Enrique showed me World War Z, and of all the movies I've seen,
that
that's
was one of them. Yep.
Audio-visual stimuli abounds. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Actors appear on screen.
I think you're being generous.
No, it's fine. I'm going to forget about it. The other film that I saw Brendan Fraser in The Whale.
Oh, wow. Did you and Alexis see that together?
No, I had to see that in the middle of a day where I was driving around COVID testing a whole bunch of people. I had like a 3-hour break. Yeah, I had a ton of work at the beginning of the week.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, I have this. I did not like it. I think it's a bad movie.
Didn't? Really? You think it's a bad movie? Okay, I haven't seen it
Brendan
yet,
Fraser
so I can't speak
does
to it.
Everything he can. Something that did not help my experience with The Whale is, one, I already have a hard time with movies that are adaptations of plays.
Oh, is this a kitchen sink drama?
This is a kitchen sink drama. I feel that those tend to be very uncinematic.
Right.
Not that you can't set a movie in a single location and have it be interesting, but I just
like 12
tend to
Angry
find
Men, for example.
12 Angry Men is kind of the exception of a movie
Right.
that I think does that well. But I think a lot of the time the dialogue that might work in a theater does not work on screen. And I definitely felt that way about The Whale. The other thing that hurt my experience of it was, I think I see Alexis.
Alexis is finally here.
Moving around.
Hi.
Is she coming? Is she going to be here?
Nope.
I'm watching the door.
Here it comes.
Could it be? Any minute.
Oh, God. This is going to be great for the listeners. Let's just go in. Is she finally there?
She's here.
Oh, my God.
Hello, Alexis.
Well, at least she got here quickly.
Oh, come on, man. We're recording.
Yeah, Alexis, we're 16 minutes into our episode already.
She cannot hear you because you're on headphones.
Oh, really? Oh, well, she can hear me when she's editing this.
Yeah, she'll hear it when she edits. Mick is being a dick already, Alexis. This is I've got his headphones in if you want to just have a seat and hop right into our recording.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm on the other side.
Yes. Yeah. No one's in the hot seat today.
That's great.
Are you bringing chips with you?
Is she going to be eating during this? God, boy, she really makes an entrance, doesn't she?
Hell fucking yeah.
Oh my God.
Rolls in an hour late with 2 bags of chips. That's big dog. That's big daddy moves.
I was packing.
Say hello to Mick.
Oh, there she is.
Alexis
Miss you too.
Is for our listeners giving Mick the finger.
Wow. That didn't take long, did it? Ugh. God.
I was just discussing my experience watching The Whale.
Yes.
which
You couldn't have waited. I was the one who wanted to know.
We've waited 45 minutes,
starting
Alexis.
these-
We've
oh.
waited 45 minutes. At a certain point, you just got to go into it, and anyone can respect that.
Whatever. I was doing adult shit like editing the podcast and, doing an invoice and also packing for my trip to home.
Wow.
are you excited to go home?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to watch some movies with my family.
Wow. Already stuffing her face, and she's a minute into it. She's on brand.
oh my god. Yeah. So I didn't really like The Whale. I talked a little bit about how I'm just often very lukewarm on kitchen sink dramas that get adapted to film.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that hurt it was while I was working, I was listening to the Variety Writers Roundtable with like Jordan Peele, Mark McDonough, everybody.
Jordan Poole. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan Poole. And one thing that Martin McDonough said when he was talking about when he was writing his first feature is that he wanted to avoid making a playwright's film, which is, as he put it, something that's incredibly wordy, and it's 2 hours of people sipping on tea and nothing fucking happens.
Is that what Martin McDonough said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, that's what I'm trying to avoid as a playwright making a movie.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt about The Whale. Incredibly wordy dialogue that doesn't really fit in a film, and nothing fucking happens for 2 hours. Brendan Fraser does give a very solid and committed performance. I just think
What about Sadie Sink?
she's okay. I just feel like he's not really helped by anyone, particularly the director and whoever adapted the screenplay.
Bummer.
Sadie
I was
Sink,
looking
I would
forward to
say,
that one.
Sadie Sink does turn in some good work. I think there's a lot of dialogue that she has where I'm like, I don't know how anybody's pulling that off.
Do you mean like the dialogue itself is unbelievable?
Yes, it feels very much like I am going to say everything that I am feeling, and subtext is for cowards.
Interesting.
Okay.
So it's a bad
Yeah,
script,
so-
is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
bad
a bad
dialogue
script
at
that
the
I think
least.
is made worse by being a movie. I think it might have worked a little bit better
Yeah.
as a play.
Interesting.
No, as soon as Zach said he did not like it, I knew that I had to go see it because I tend to kind of dig kitchen sink dramas.
Same here.
Quite a bit. So.
Yeah, I'm with you, Alexis. As soon as I read your thing, Zach, on Letterboxd, and I was like, oh, he hates it. Why does he hate it? That's too bad. Oh, it's like a kitchen sink drama. I will have to check this out because I sometimes, not always, but I sometimes will enjoy those. But who knows, Zach? I might be with you on this one.
If you like a kitchen sink drama, you might get more mileage out of it than I did. But
Yeah.
I really did not enjoy it.
There is one exception to that rule, right? Shiva baby.
That's written. Is that adapted from a play?
I have no idea.
Because I think that's.
But it's definitely a kitchen sink drama in some ways.
I have nothing against a movie that's all set in one location. I just think that when it's a screenplay that basically just takes the script of a play, where, playwriting is very much a writer's medium. Like, the word on the page is what the thing is, whereas film is a visual medium. The writer is not the sort of end-all, be-all of what a film is. I think that there's sometimes kind of a disconnect between those two things.
Yeah. You're
How long
saying
were we recording
sometimes the
before I
writer
got here?
stifles
We were
everything
recording
else.
for a good 15 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
We talked a lot about Stephen Lang.
Yeah. Yeah, we covered
Alexis,
quite a lot, which was nice,
what have
actually.
you watched?
What have I watched?
Yeah,
I'm going to be totally 1,000% honest.
that's what we come here for.
Great. I don't think I've watched anything.
That's incorrect.
But something that we didn't cover last time that me and Mick did watch was Terms of Endearment. He watched that movie for the first time, and we didn't even fucking really talk about it at all and what's going on, but we really liked it.
Really good movie.
Who's-
I really enjoyed
who's in
Terms of
Terms of
Endearment.
Endearment?
That's a great
So
Jack
Shirley
Nicholson
MacLaine,
character.
Deborah Winger, and Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
And what's his name? Fuck me sideways. What is his goddamn name?
Jeff Daniels?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
Jeff
just
Daniels.
throwing out a name.
Is it Jeff Daniels?
Well, it depends on which character you're talking about. But yes, Jeff Daniels is in it.
Flap.
Yeah,
his
that's
name
Jeff
in the
Daniels.
movie.
Yeah.
Flap.
Wow.
That was a good guess.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Have you seen it, Zach?
Never.
Wow.
It's good.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
We
I
finally
don't
got
know
to
what
see
it's
the
a-
Shirley MacLaine freak out in the hospital.
So to contextualize, the opening shot is of Shirley MacLaine as a mother, presumably in her late to early 30s, maybe, going into her baby's room because she's afraid that the baby is dead because she's not making any noise. And she's like, she's not breathing. She's not breathing. And so she literally starts to kind of climb into the bassinet a little bit and starts to kind of shake the baby until the baby starts crying. And then she goes, oh, no, she's fine. She's fine. And then walks out of the room without comforting the baby. And then you flash forward like a good 7 years. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about like a mother-daughter relationship, and it's also about their own separate lives as they like go forward, and her daughter grows up and out of the house and blah blah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
It's
Shirley
another-
MacLaine.
It's another
so
great
great.
Jack Nicholson performance. He's so good in
Oh,
it.
yeah.
He's so good at playing a prick, but you're almost kind of rooting for him at the same time. You can't help it.
Mhm.
You always are.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
this. He always has all of these super young girlfriends because he's a middle-aged man, and there's this great scene where he's walking with like a
Okay,
little
but he's
4-year-old
not just
girl,
a middle-aged man. He's also
and
an astronaut.
Shirley MacLaine is like, oh,
former
like they're so
astronaut.
cute together, but God, she's way too old for him. Great fucking line.
Do we have anything else going on?
Yes. Well, Alexis and
Nick,
I
what's
actually
going on?
watched A League of Their Own. That was something else that she watched
I've never
recently
seen
that she forgot
still.
about.
I've only seen bits of it.
It's a good film.
Oh yeah, we did watch that.
It's a really good film. It actually made us both cry, surprisingly. I was not expecting that one.
Yeah.
It passed the Mick test for me for sure.
When did we cry exactly?
Towards the end, when basically when you see them all as older ladies again at the Hall of Fame kind of area. And having worked with Gina Davis, I was very lucky to work with her. She mentioned to me that after this movie came out, she apparently was workshopping a script called Little League of Their Own, where she was going to come back as a coach and teach these little girls baseball. And no one ever liked the script enough to ever make it a thing, but apparently that was going to be the unofficial sequel.
Oh man,
That would have been so cute.
That would have been really
I'd
cute,
watch
right?
that.
I would have definitely watched it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, so we watched that. Another movie I watched actually was Devotion. That
Oh,
That
the
Korean-
Glenn Powell,
almost-
Jonathan Majors
I
movie.
almost went to go see that last night, but then I was too tired.
I gotta say, guys, it's a solid film. It is really good. I don't want to say too much about it, but it offers a very interesting critique of the white savior complex or trope, however you want to say it. When you watch it, you'll know exactly what I mean. I don't want to give too much away because I think you need to go into it fresh, but obviously it's based on a true story. It passed the Mick test for me. It has, I don't know if either of you will care about it or if any of our listeners will care about it, but it has spectacular aviation photography, just like Top Gun
I knew exactly what the
Maverick.
fuck you were gonna goddamn say.
There's
I was gonna say
something-
it's the planes, right? It's the planes.
Crazy.
But just like Top Gun Maverick,
Loves it.
what they did was they just
Planes,
took
trains,
real
and
planes
automobiles.
and they put cameras to them and they went up and they shot it. Now, obviously, there's CGI in it, but it looks really, really gorgeous. Glenn Powell and Jonathan Majors are a team up of actors that I did not know I needed. They are such a good but they're such good buddies in this film. It really, really works.
It's a buddy movie.
Huh?
I think it's a buddy movie.
It's a buddy movie.
It's a buddy movie.
Okay, shit. That's all you had to say.
Was it when we were watching A League of Their Own that you said something about the locomotive? You said that's a really nice locomotive.
Yes, I
or
did.
Something, and I
Yes.
was just like,
Hey, I love planes, trains, and automobiles, folks. You've heard it here.
He loves
Yes,
transportation.
I
He
do
sure
love
does.
transportation.
And,
Is there a
and-
White Claws?
Yeah.
All right.
Go grab
Look,
yourself
Alexis,
one.
look.
Yeah, I
Even I have White Claws over here. You gotta have one.
one.
Today's episode is brought to you by White Claw. It's the law.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not, right?
Hey, Mick, I have a transportation question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about boats?
They're okay.
You're okay? You don't love boats.
I don't love boats. They're probably my least favorite of all transportation. That and tricycles. Those are just ridiculous.
You don't like a tricycle?
Yeah.
Well, but like,
What about those old
Or-
I will have to
wheel?
say though, I have an interesting story. So I saw Devotion with my folks in the theater, and I go in, I sit in the theater, and all of the ads, the local ads that they play before the official coming attractions come in, all have this really obnoxious, distracting green tint to them. And I'm going, okay, obviously there's something wrong with this projector, but sometimes when they switch from the local ads to the coming attractions, they switch projectors entirely. So I'll wait until the coming attractions come. Then the coming attractions come, and it's still really green. Everything looks like the Matrix, and I'm starting to panic. I'm like, okay, I spent money on this movie ticket. This is a movie that takes place over the Pacific Ocean. I don't want it to be green. And then the production studio logos start coming in after the trailers finish, and everything is still green. So I hop up, I run out, I speak to the employees at the theater, and I go, you need to speak to the projectionist because the projector is having issues. It's tinted far too green. And they go, oh, yeah, we've heard about that. Let me go speak to the manager, and hopefully we'll have it fixed soon. So I go back. The movie's beginning, and the crowd is not super thick. There's a few people in the audience, but I'm sitting next to my parents, and then that employee that I spoke to walks into the theater, and the movie just stops. And he goes, I'm so sorry, everybody. We're going to have to shut down this projector for about a minute because of the green tinting. So we thank you, everybody, for your patience. And so he walks out, and the screen is just black. And we're all just kind of waiting there. And my father goes, what happened? He has trouble hearing. My mother goes, the movie was green. Mick didn't like it. Mick did not like it. So the movie stopped. And my dad goes, what? And my mother goes, Mick broke the movie. He didn't like it. Our son stopped the film. Like, so loud, everyone in the theater can hear it. So people are starting to like look up at me and just kind of like making eyes. I even hear a couple comment like, well, there goes our dinner reservation, because it's taking far more than a minute for them to gear up the projector again. And then my dad goes, how long is this going to take? My mother goes, the guy said about a minute. He goes, what guy? She says, the guy that walked into the theater. He said it was a minute. And my dad goes, it's been more than a minute. What's wrong with it being green? It's the Army, for God's sakes. And I go, no, it's the Navy. It's blue.
I think the Zoom call is going to end. I think that's a fantastic place to hang up the Zoom call and get out of what's going on.
Great. I'm definitely going to go see that. I'm going to take my dad to go see that movie. My dad is an action-oriented man.
Okay.
So
He loves action and a tragic romance?
he loves action, he loves tragic romance, he loves comedic romance. He did not love The Fabelmans. It is too artsy for him.
Spielberg.
That was not exactly what he said, but that is what he meant.
That was the vibe he was putting out.
Well, he said he went to go see it with my mom and my sister. I always think it's really funny when like my dad and my mom go out and do things because they've been divorced for 20 years now. So it's always funny when he's like, yeah, well, I went with your mother and your sister, and we went to go see a movie, and the movie was okay. It's not really my thing. You know what my thing is. I'm like, yeah, I know what your thing is. He's like, yeah, I like, action, you know what I like. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, I know what you like.
That's hilarious. All right, and we're back. We're out of what's going on, and let's get into our big topic.
What's our big topic?
Our big topic, as pitched in our group chat, I believe, is great British performances by American actors.
That's right.
And I have a sneaking suspicion that Mick and I are going to have the same answer for this.
I wonder, though. You might be close, but I have a backup just in case we have the same answer.
Okay, well, I'll drop my answer.
Okay.
And my answer is Mr. Robert Downey Jr.
Jr.
and Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, that was going to be my answer too.
Of course that was going to be your answer.
There is no better answer than Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. In my mind, the definitive Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, I agree.
Is Mr. Robert Downey Jr. And that's, that might be a little blasphemous to say, but I think he really captures... I mean, Robert Downey Jr., I would say, always has sort of a smarmy quality to him.
Yes, that's why you cast these things
really well to a arrogant British detective who is smarter than everyone else and knows it.
Yes.
That is what makes him such a good choice to play Sherlock Holmes. And
yes.
For my money, between him as Tony Stark and him as Sherlock Holmes, I would have much rather gotten 10 movies with him as Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, I know.
He's fucking great in it.
I wish there were more films that we were getting from him more than just 3. But yeah, the first time I saw it, I wasn't entirely convinced. Just from a dialect point of view, how much he was nailing the British accent. Until even to this day, I still have my doubts. But I don't know. He's just such a great British character that I do not think of him when I'm watching him as an American actor trying his best at a British accent. It just, he makes it his own. He's absolutely goofy. He's absolutely narcissistic. It's, I love the little colloquialisms that he has. He absolutely nails it. My backup was going to be another, over-the-top character, which was going to be Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow.
Which I think,
which is a good one, but I do agree. I think Robert Downey Jr., casting him as the famous British detective Sherlock Holmes was a bold choice, but man, it pays off. I love it. I really love it.
It's great to take something away from him.
Yes, it is, because so often it's British actors playing American characters, and it's nice that every now and then we get to turn it around on them.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice in my lifetime, they've taken Batman away from us.
That's right.
They took Superman away from us, which that's another thing going on. Henry Cavill's not coming back as Superman.
Oh, I'm so sad.
Man.
That's sarcasm. I'm playing the world's smallest violin right now, and it's so tiny you can't even hear it.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I think that is a pretty great performance by an American playing a Brit.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, I got a question. Was Peter Sellers British or is he American?
Oh, I don't know.
Right? We should know this.
I think he's British.
Is he British?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
he
pretty
is
sure.
British.
Here's another one.
Uh-huh.
Alan Tudyk in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
You've seen it?
I have not seen that, but the article that I'm reading right now, it talks about Alan Tudyk doing a British.
I love it. Alexis is looking up answers, so she has one for her. That's great.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I had an answer, but it's for the movie that we're watching.
Yeah.
That we watched.
Well, then why can't that be your answer? That should just segue us in.
That's the segue. That's going to be the segue.
She's saving it to be the segue.
Oh, my goodness.
I always want a segue.
It's
Call
okay.
her Paul Blart, because she needs a segue.
I was going to make a segue joke, too. We're on the vibe right now.
Yeah, because we're in the same place.
Yeah,
we're feeling each other's energy. Yeah, finally. No, Alan Tudyk is, I think his name in that is it starts with a W. It's Went or something. It's some weird old-timey British name. And he plays, for those of you who don't know, the premise of A Knight's Tale is Heath Ledger plays a squire who disguises himself as a nobleman and enters a jousting competition. It's a medieval sports movie. It's very fun.
I still haven't seen that.
You haven't? Nick,
never...
I really think you would love A Knight's Tale.
I probably would.
You particularly.
I really would like to see it.
We should. Yeah. When we're all in the same place again, we should make a point to watch A Knight's Tale.
Let's do it.
But yeah, he has a line where he's threatening to kick the shit out of Paul Bettany, and he goes, "If you don't do what we need you to do, it's going to be pain. Lots and lots of pain." He is incredible in that movie. He's so fucking funny.
Alan Tudyk is one of the all-time great character actors.
Yes,
he really is.
Yeah,
I've seen him in a bunch of things.
He's in so much stuff. He's the only robot that has ever really made me cry in iRobot. When he's finally being put out of commission, he plays the robot. He's the one who says when he gets put out of commission, Alan Tudyk goes, "Will it hurt?" And then she holds his hand. I actually tear up with a goddamn machine going out of commission. I think that's
tearing
impressive.
up in fucking iRobot.
I mean, yeah, it's sad.
Okay,
I love AI. I don't know. I empathize with AI quite a bit.
Well, yeah, no, I do too, but like, you know, not in iRobot because I don't think that movie's good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good film.
I don't know if it's a great movie, but I know I really liked watching it as a kid.
It has Shia LaBeouf saying "ass hot spankable spoon" in it, so you know, not
when
brilliant.
Does he say that?
I don't like that.
You don't remember
Wait,
Shia LaBeouf?
When does he say that?
You remember him in that movie?
Shia LaBeouf?
He plays the kid.
Did you just say Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf plays the kid in iRobot, where Will Smith said, "Stop cussing because you're not good at it."
Wow, you
dead air.
Man, I gotta rewatch this movie. I definitely don't remember that.
I'm so glad that we've gotten to your extensive knowledge of iRobot.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
really.
love that
We're
film when I was
finishing
a
the
kid.
year out strong.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so another performance by an American playing a Brit, which I don't particularly love this movie, but I want to know your guys' feelings on it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about Shakespeare in Love?
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I feel lukewarm about the movie, but I think that Gwyneth Paltrow does a good accent in it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's Steve the Pirate. That's why I keep thinking of him from Dodgeball. I know his face so well.
Speaking of things that it all comes back to, apparently this podcast always comes back to fucking Dodgeball.
Yeah. My answer, I have a couple answers, but my first one would be Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow and also as Sweeney Todd, because he does a British accent in,
I like that movie.
Obviously Pirates, but then he does like a Cockney accent in Sweeney Todd, and sings in it too. So, you know, I always thought it was impressive.
He sings in British. That's impressive.
The British don't sing in British, and that's fucked up of them. That's why I think they're fucking pretending. They're faking it, and they know that.
Oh,
you know what's a fun little story, though?
Sorry, Alexis, you go first, then I have something.
Okay, good. So good little story is Chloe Grace Moretz. She was in that movie Hugo, which was a Scorsese movie,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And when they were originally casting for that movie, Scorsese very specifically said, only audition British actresses. And so what did she do? She pretended she was British. She even gave herself a backstory. And when people would ask her questions, she would she made up this whole lie about her life in Cotswolds or some fucking place in Britain. I don't fucking remember what she said, but she was like 11 years old and she made up this story, and she fooled Scorsese into thinking that she was a British child. And it wasn't until halfway through filming that like she started talking in her American accent, and he was like, wow, that's so convincing. And she was like, actually, funny story.
That's really
And at
funny.
that point, he just had to laugh because he was like, that's fucking funny.
You got me.
Yeah, you fucking got me.
Got.
I love that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh man,
I have to give some honorable mentions really quickly. Honestly,
I have a whole cast worth of honorable mentions.
So honestly, the British themselves have actually credited these actors I'm about to name as being some of the most convincing British accents they've ever heard from American people. And that is Christopher Guest,
Dick Van Dyke,
Christopher Guest, and Michael McKean from Spinal Tap. Those are convincing British accents. Oh my God! Where even British people themselves have said
they were British. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're American actors. I just had to look up whether or not Christopher Guest was Canadian, but no, he's American. So if you have not seen Spinal Tap yet,
there we go.
Please do. It's one of the best musical mockumentary things that you've ever seen. It's a fantastic Rob Reiner film. Please check out This Is Spinal Tap.
I'd like to shout out Elijah Wood, Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, yeah.
And
Good choices.
Oh my God. Why am I blanking on Sam's name?
Sean Astin.
Astin, thank you.
I got it.
Yes.
I got it first.
Yeah, I literally just watched Return of the King. Rewatched
He's in
it.
Stranger Things as well, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all do very solid British
They do.
accents in those movies. So shouts out to them.
Great.
But Alexis, who would your pick
Alexis,
be?
please, for the love of God, tell us your choice.
Pop on the segue.
Okay, before we do the segue, I just want to do a quick little shout out to my girl, Frances McDormand, because she was in this movie in, like, I want to say, like, 2005 or 2007 or something, with Amy Adams and goddamn fucking fine-ass man Lee Pace. Whew, that man is enormous, and he is so good-looking.
You brooding.
He
mountain.
is a monolith of a man.
He is a monolith. Oh my God. There's a movie of his called The Fall that I've always wanted to see, but it's like $50 to buy it just on DVD, like online.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that movie's good.
Yeah, and like it's not available anywhere. I think, yeah, and I don't want to pirate it or anything, but you know.
Good for you,
It
Alexis.
is what it is. Anyways.
I respect
So it's
you
called
for that.
Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day, and Frances McDormand plays Miss Pettigrew, and it is like the cutest little movie. I personally really like it. But my cute little segue is Renee Zellweger. She plays an incredibly convincing British woman, so convincing that Hugh Grant himself is said to have not known she was American throughout most of the filming of Bridget Jones's Diary, 2001.
Yes, Bridget Jones's Diary, directed by, I believe, Susan Maguire, and starring
Sharon Maguire.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger, Hugh Grant, and Mr. Colin Firth. And Alexis fucking bamboozled and tricked us and managed to get us to watch Pride and Prejudice again. Because when Colin Firth's character shows up and it's like, this is Mark Darcy, I was like, fuck you.
You know exactly what it was. Wait, hold on, really quickly. So, for those of you who don't know, who have been living under a rock, Bridget Jones's Diary is about, at the start of the new year, 32-year-old Bridget, played by Renee Zellweger, decides it's time to take control of her life and start keeping a diary. Now, the most provocative, erotic, and historical book on her bedside table is the one she is writing. With a taste of adventure and an opinion on every subject, from exercise to men to food to sex and everything in between, she's turning the page on a whole new life. Released April 13th, 2001.
I both hate and love that synopsis.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that synopsis.
It's whatever.
I mean,
But,
it kind of covers what it is, but I think it misses out on the honestly on how ridiculous the film is. It really is a great comedy.
it's so zany.
It's very
It's
zany.
a little quirky.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I'd like to point out that my thesis that there are only 20 British people continues to
be
bear
right.
fruit.
Yeah.
Because
Was it Gemma Jones?
yes, or I don't know if Gemma Jones was in something else that we watched, but Colin Firth was
She's
in
in The
Tinker Tailor
Devils.
Soldier Spy.
Jim Broadbent.
Jim Broadbent.
I don't know if he's been in anything that we've I'm just talking about films that we've already covered.
Okay.
Colin Firth is in Tinker Tailor.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant is in The Gentleman, which is
Yeah.
our first episode. And Celia Imrie, who's one of the older women in this movie, is in A Cure for Wellness.
Oh yes,
Oh,
that's
is she?
right.
Like-
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
She plays...
She's the one who like keeps bringing out that little booklet that is like
Yes,
telling
her
him the history.
Yeah, the one who's doing the crosswords.
Right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
she plays the friend of Bridget's mother.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, Pam, your gravy needs sieving.
Yeah, no, I wrote down that
Wonderful.
line.
That's a good
I
accent.
love that. Ever saying that your gravy needs sieving is the most disgusting line.
She's
and
all,
I
she's
love
all,
it
Sharon,
so
you know,
much.
you know, just stir it.
Oh, I have to go, lumpy gravy and all.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I wrote down there's a point where Bridget accidentally gets twine in something that she's cooking.
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God,
The
that
blue
fucking
soup.
girl.
Yeah, and Colin Firth says something about it being string soup, and I was like, that sounds like a real British dish. I believe that they eat that over there.
Yeah. Well, so she does like really good at this new job that she gets, and she decides, hey, you know what? Somehow I'm fucking actually good at something. I suspect I may actually be a whiz at cooking too. And so she decides she's gonna make some fucking weird shit from a cookbook that who the fuck even makes that? She listed out what it was later on, and I was like, nobody eats that. No one eats that. And she was looking for twine, and she found some blue fucking string, and it turned the whole fucking everything. Broth blue.
That is so
Can you imagine how much dye is probably in the soup that they were trying to eat?
I don't want to.
It's disgusting. Quintessentially British, of course.
And he made what was it? Oh yeah, the other thing that she made, and they were like, it actually reminds me of something. And her friend's like, marmalade.
Marmalade, yes. Yeah, no.
Yeah. 4 hours of careful cooking, and all you have is blue soup, omelet, and marmalade.
Delicious.
So, Alexis, I believe Mick, you hadn't seen this movie before, right?
No, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your guys' histories with this movie? When did you discover British
Jones's
Diary? I have no
Diary?
idea
British,
when I discovered it, because I probably was only about like 6 or 7 when this movie came out. Maybe almost 8. So I probably saw it pretty early on.
It came out in 2001.
I was 3.
Yeah, so I was like 7 or 8. No, I was probably 7. And I'm gonna be totally honest. This movie has been like a DVD on my family's thing since like probably at least like 2003.
It's an
and
Avithia
this is kind of like it is. My mom fucking loves this movie like so much. Like she watches it every year, like at least once a year. I watch it at least once a year. I told Mick, I told you that the very beginning where she's like shit-faced and listening to sad FM, easy listenings for the over 30s.
Yes.
And she's like singing along to All By Myself, and she's doing like air drums and drinking like a bottle of wine. And I was like, every girl has fucking done this.
Yeah.
You see that? Every girl's done that. And you were like, that's kind of sad. And I was like, it is what it is.
That's why I really love that scene, especially because it's opening the whole film. Because there's some truth to that. You feel like the people who wrote this and captured this knew exactly what the fuck they were talking about, because there's just something... This goes on to why I think Renee Zellweger was perfect for this part, even though it was originally the first person that was at the top of their list with Toni Collette, and then it was Kate Winslet.
Ooh, that would have been good too.
Kate Winslet and Toni Collette both would have been fantastic, but I think Renee Zellweger really nails this. Because when you're witnessing that scene where the song "All by Myself" and she's doing the drums with the magazine, you're just like, God damn, like I'm witnessing a real fucking woman right now, and I see you, girl. I understand. We've been there.
Can I tell you a secret?
Of
What's
course.
your secret?
My secret is I've watched this movie sad and drunk and literally reenacted that beginning scene while I was watching that movie one time.
Did it make you feel better?
I'm not gonna lie, it sure didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was still sad and drunk, I was like, that was kind of funny. What am I doing?
She looked into the mirror and saw Renee Zellweger staring back at her, and she knew that something was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love that the next part right after that where she's like, I'm starting a diary to tell the whole truth, like nothing but the truth about me, whatever, And she says that she's not going to continue to have romantic attachments to any of the following, and she lists
Can I list that?
Megalomania.
Can I list it?
Yeah, no, list it off.
Here's the quote.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, I have it, because I love this line. So it's one of my favorite parts of the whole film. So she says, all right, and then it's resolution number 3. We'll find nice simple boy to go out with and not continue to form romantic attachments to any of the following: alcoholics, workaholics, commitment phobics, peeping toms, megalomaniacs, emotional fuckwits or perverts, and especially will not fantasize about a particular person who embodies all of these things. Cut to Hugh fucking
Transition.
Grant.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
She does end up in a relationship with, he cheats on her with an American. And I have to say, he's right. Americans are more attractive than British people. I'm sorry. That's just how it is.
Well,
I mean, it's just kind of funny because Renee Zellweger herself is American.
And she is more attractive than the girl he goes for, which leads me to...
That's Laura.
My complaint about this film.
Yes, I loved it.
My complaint
he has a good one. He has a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This film comes from the dark time
of the early 2000s.
Where we were told
was heroin chic.
We were told that a nice shapely ass and beautiful big titties are not to be desired, and that a woman who is like 136 pounds, she says she is fat. It's what a large disgusting creature. And there's there's a point she's working at a news station where she is sliding down a fire pole and lands on a camera. Yeah. And like you see her butt and she's like, "Oh my god, it's so embarrassing."
Which is so
She said she had an ass the size of Brazil.
That's right. That's something else I wrote down.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Exactly. No, that's a good thing. I watch it now and I'm like, God damn, she has it going on. I love it.
Yeah.
Keep playing that shit back.
No, you know that Mr. Darcy was like, kind of look good to me.
Oh, I know. Mr. Darcy wants a cut of meat.
In the words of Sir Mix-a-Lot,
he wants to take
even
a trip to
white
Brazil.
boy,
he wants to take a
boys
trip to
have
Rio
to
de
shout,
Janeiro.
"Baby got back."
Oh God.
Baby got back.
Sir Mix-a-Lot does not get enough credit for bending the arc of the moral universe towards justice.
Yo, that's fair.
We are
that's
Sir
Baby Got Back
Mix-a-Lot
did a lot.
supporters on this show.
Yes, we salute you, sir.
God.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
in
what the
general-
film majors do. We set the record straight. You know? We're so good at that.
Thank you for letting me rant about this.
Of course, you're absolutely
in general,
right.
I just think that the black community has been more on point about a lot of things.
Wow.
And
Who'da
whites
thought?
just ruin everything.
I know.
Crazy.
There's a
Crazy how we
recurring
keep
theme.
doing that.
Exactly.
Hey, how you
man.
doing?
Yeah, great. I was just thinking about how this movie and every movie in the early 2000s gave me an eating disorder.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And yet it's still close to your heart, which I think speaks to how good this film is.
Well, you know, back in those days, a little quick side note, you know, when Titanic came out and, you know, in the early 2000s and Kate Winslet was going on all those like red carpets, I thought that she looked really beautiful. But every time, because, you know, when I would go to the grocery store with my mom, I would go to the magazine sections and I would like read the magazines and they'd always do the like best dressed do's and don'ts. And then they would also be like, this person's fucking fat. And like, I'd look at them and I'd think to myself, I'm fat because I'm not thin, you know?
That's fucked.
And so it's just like, but the thing that I always loved about Kate Winslet was that she at no point ever was like, oh, I need to go on a diet or anything. Kate Winslet always fucking like owned that shit. But that time period is a dark, dark time for most girls who were growing up in like childhood and adolescence, let me tell you. And unfortunately, that aesthetic is somehow coming back in.
Yeah, get
the
rid of it.
The pendulum is swinging back the other way.
I will not
Big
allow
mistake.
this. Listen.
Yeah.
We cannot. In my review of this movie on Letterboxd, I wrote, "I refuse to go back." America as a country,
I'm with you.
We will not regress.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Baby got back.
It would be a
Baby got
mistake.
back.
It would be a mistake.
Yeah,
Wow.
we've made great
Definitely.
strides in the past 2 decades.
Yeah, no, I literally look at Bridget Jones now and I'm just like, girl, you look fine.
No,
you
she
look
looks
great,
fantastic.
actually.
She really looks great
I'm like,
in this film.
she's wearing these like mommy granny panties and I'm like, what are you even pulling in? You know?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, I don't know, but also that is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie is when she like she's like, if for whatever reason I do end up in flagrante, surely these panties, and she holds up some thongs, and she's like, would be better at the crucial moment. But chance of actually getting to that point is probably helped by these. And she holds up these panties that are like enormous.
They are massive.
Yeah, and she goes to this thing. She does actually end up going home with Hugh Grant, and he does this whole thing where he's like, "These are very silly little boots, and this is a very silly little dress,
skirt.
and these
Enormous
are
panties."
oh God, fuck me, absolutely enormous panties." And she's like, "Oh fuck," he's like, "No, I'm actually wearing something quite similar. Let me show you." And then
that's
he's
a
like.
great line. He
And
may
then he
be a
says,
sleazy
"Hello,
bastard,
mummy."
but he has his moments.
I made a note where I said, in my notes, I say, upon hearing Hugh Grant say, "Hello, mummy," I realized that this is going to be a horny fucking episode.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hugh Grant, listen, he is a scumbag, but between the two men in this movie, I'm sorry, Hugh Grant's got fucking piping hot sex appeal.
Of course he does. That's
Okay,
why you have him be Daniel Cleaver.
There's not enough like male people in there to be like fuck, marry, kill, but like
This
if you
movie
did,
does lack
you would
female gaze.
you would fuck Hugh Grant and you'd marry Darcy, obviously,
Which is what happens.
That's exactly what happened.
And the thing is that even if you knew originally that you want to marry Darcy, you gotta fuck Hugh Grant first because you gotta take a dip in the lake, my boy.
You gotta find out if the temperature's all right. You gotta try all the hors d'oeuvres.
You two need to stop spending time together. That was an aquatic metaphor.
Oh fuck!
Alexis, I see you, and I love it.
You know why? Because I immediately thought of Colin Firth because he does actually play Mr. Darcy in the 1995 BBC like 6-episode adaptation of Pride and Prejudice.
I'm glad you brought that up.
So funny, but
Yes.
he does actually go for a dip in a lake. So I was really thinking of a lake. It's not the aquatic metaphors. It's Mr. Darcy. It's all around Mr. Darcy. Stop.
It's always Mr. Darcy.
It's always Mr. Darcy.
One moment in this movie, we were talking about her with the panties, that the biggest laugh that came for me in this movie, because I don't think I'm as hot on this movie as you guys. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't hear you laughing really hard when I was on FaceTime.
But one bit that got me really good is the bit where Bridget's prepping to go out, and she's like waxing and shaving her legs, and they're playing this music that sounds a lot like dun,
Yes.
dun, dun, dun. Like it sounds like the Bond theme.
Yeah, no, it's like heist
very,
music
very
almost.
funny.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to shout that bit out because that hit for me.
Yeah.
I
Isn't
love-
it terrible about Chechnya? Chechnya.
I love the little moment in the lake. Speaking of aquatic metaphors, where you see
Sure.
Mark Darcy with his girlfriend, who, by the way, is Mrs. Honeypot, I think, from Matilda.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know why. Maybe because
Much more likable character.
much more likable character for sure. But I just love the line, "There once was a woman from Ealing who had a peculiar feeling. She sat on her back, spread open her crack, and pissed all over the ceiling."
all over the ceiling.
And then you cut to Mark Darcy looking at that deplorable line and them giggling, and he just has this look of envy on his eyes, where he's like,
yeah,
"Oh man,
he's like,
I
oh,
want
they're
that."
having fun.
Yeah, they look like
Yeah.
they're having a good time. And I just feel for the guy.
My favorite part of that scene is where Bridget is like clearly fucking dying, and she's like, "You stupid ass," you know, and he's just like fucking in the lake.
Yeah,
you
with
know?
his cigarette.
I don't know.
bent
I thought it
down.
was so cute.
It is super
also,
cute.
this movie does tie into terms of endearment because in terms of endearment, Shirley MacLaine goes for a ride with Jack Nicholson with the fucking hood down. And
Yes.
she brings a fucking scarf to try to keep her hair okay. And by the time she gets to the restaurant, her hair is fucking ruined. Absolutely fucking ruined. She has to take off her fucking hairpiece and just like her regular hair or whatever. And that's what happens to Bridget
Do you,
when they get
Alexis?
there. Her hair
do you
is like
think
this
that is a
enormous
direct
blowout.
nod to terms of endearment?
It might be, but I'm not quite sure what they would be trying to say if they
It
were
might not
nodding
be
to
saying
terms of
anything
endearment.
other than, "Oh, hey, it's like that movie." Because that, I mean, who
I
knows?
think-
With a
Yeah.
rom-com of this level, that
Yeah.
might just be enough motivation for them to do something like that.
I think that like based on what they were talking about in the movie, they were more trying to like do a riff and a joke about Grace Kelly because there's that like famous picture of Grace Kelly with like a scarf around her
in
head.
the top down.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's trying to look like Grace Kelly with her scarf, and then her
I think
scarf
it's
flies
just
off.
I think in general Bridget Jones's character does actually have a lot in common with Shirley MacLaine's character as the mom, where it's like they want to be they want to present this front that is more together than what they maybe really are or something. Yeah, I don't know. I think this White Claw started to hit me because I haven't eaten anything really mostly today.
Other than the chips you ate during the podcast.
Your linguistics have changed slightly. They're all kind of blending in together. It's a good sound. I like it. I think a line that really makes me laugh is just when she's scrolling through the television and it cuts to a nature documentary and the narration is, "The male penetrates the female and leaves. Coitus is brief and perfunctory." I don't know.
Yes.
That line really gets me.
When
That's
she's
a good
hella
line.
sad.
Yeah, that cracked me up. Her like flipping through channels and everything is making her sad.
Yes,
Yeah.
which reminds me
really-
a little bit of Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, look at
I was
all that.
just watching a video on like why British, why American comedies should take
Note.
a leaf out of what's his name?
Edgar Wright.
Oh, Edgar Wright's?
Edgar Wright's, because the way that he presents things, instead of like just having like people improv with each other,
Yes.
he's presenting situations and like visual aspects for cinema that are funny.
That's
in itself.
what I've been saying. That's why I've always said that Edgar Wright is so much better at making comedies and visual comedy than someone like Judd Apatow will ever be. It's one thing to just let your actors riff and improv and try to find the funniest take, but to have the real humor baked into the script, the timing, the cinematography, that I think is, I hate to say this, but that's elevated comedy.
I think it's a Patrick H. Willems video essay that's all about how Edgar Wright uses cuts to be funny.
Yes.
He uses
Yeah.
cuts
No, I've
as
seen
a
that video.
joke.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. That might have been what I was watching actually.
Yeah,
Who
it
knows?
probably
Yeah,
is.
it's a good
I
one.
Or
think
maybe like a
we're
segment
all
from it.
referencing that one video essay and how we all agree with it. Patrick
believe
H.
he's,
Williams, you're good.
Yeah, I believe he's doing voice work on a podcast episode that we're going to have a little promo spot in.
That's
Oh,
great.
sweet.
Yeah, shout out to that.
That's
Hope
right. We
everyone
have to record
enjoys,
that after this. That's right.
Yes, we should have a promo on the new podcast, Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe?
Great.
So go ahead and check that out wherever you find your podcasts. All right.
Okay, I feel like this movie was like a really good follow-up to It's a Wonderful Life, because It's a Wonderful Life is a little bit more heavy on like the feels and just kind of like the commentary that it makes. And for me, Bridget Jones's Diary is always like something that I'm like, if I just don't know what to put on, I will put on Bridget Jones's Diary, because I know that it will always get like a little laugh out of me, and I'll always be a little, amused by whatever the fuck she's got going on.
It's a comfort movie.
It's a comfort movie
It is.
for
It's
me.
like caperberry gravy, just like they make in this film. It's a comfort food.
Caperberry gravy. Dude, that shit looked so rancid.
Dude, it
Yeah,
looked
British
horrible.
food always does.
I
I don't
made
even
note
know-
of that. I was like, that is some good food props because it looks disgusting.
I had no idea like what they even put in there to make it look that
It looked like banana
disgusting,
peppers
because
or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but I was like,
Yeah, no, it's not. It is well done. Whoever did the food for
It
this
gave
film,
you the big ick.
it gave me the big ache. It always gives me the
I
big
was like,
ache.
that
Her trying to
gravy
cook
needs
gives
to
me
be
the big ache.
sieved. That gravy does need to be sieved for sure.
Oh, that gravy needs some sieving for sure.
What was I thinking? Yeah, this was also a good pick for our last episode of the year, because I feel like there aren't a ton of New Year's movies.
No, but you know
no.
what else is a New Year's movie?
New Year's Eve, which is bad.
When Harry Met
When
Sally.
Harry Met Sally, because it ends
Yeah.
at New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which I thought was a good
Well,
tie-in
you know-
to It's a Wonderful Life, because Auld Lang Syne is what the song that plays at the end of
Yes.
When Harry Met Sally and It's
Oh.
a Wonderful Life.
Alexis,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought
What?
this up. Oh, sorry. If you have more to say, go for it.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm glad you brought this up because I really like Bridget Jones's Diary. I really do. I think it's a tremendous comedy. I absolutely agree with you, Alexis. It's fantastic comfort food. But
Yeah.
I do have, even though this movie does make me cry in the correct scenarios, like when the mother and father get back together and he goes,
That is very
I'm
cute.
kidding, you cow, or something like that. And then they end
No,
up
he
hugging.
says, I'm joking, you daft
Cow,
cow.
that's
I
right.
just don't work without you.
I know. I love that line. That's something I would do. I would like fuck with the person and be
It's-
like, no, I still love you. Like, come in here.
Because
Um,
she's like, What do you think, Colin? Can we
I know there's some genuine emotion in that scene, and it's so sweet to watch.
Yeah.
And of course, she's up top and she's like eavesdropping on it. Anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Dude, the comedy of her mom is great.
No, she's fantastic. Again, if you haven't seen The Devils yet, she's so good in that movie. But no, what I was gonna say is I love this film, but it is decidedly unsentimental. It has emotion in it, it has love in it, but I think it is a romantic comedy first, romance second.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally,
it's about her.
When Harry Met Sally, that is a romance first, comedy second, where I think the comedy, obviously it's a hilarious film,
it is still funny,
but it comes in very organically.
I think the
it's
script
woven
is just
into
better.
It is a better script, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, fucking.
I mean,
Nora runs the
Ephron.
goddamn game.
She does, but I mean,
Nora's a queen.
But I'm not gonna like watch When Harry Met Sally over and over and over again in the
That
same way
makes
that
one
I
of
watch Bridget Jones.
Yeah,
in
that
the
does
same
also
way,
that does
you
make
know?
one of us.
I mean, I hadn't really seen When Harry Met Sally until like a month ago, so that's kind of
actually, it's funny. When Harry Met
estimation.
Sally, to me, is kind of Bridget Jones's Diary to you, Alexis, where it's just something I'll put on if I ever just like want to feel like comforted and hugged, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
One thing. What did you have something else to say?
no, go for it.
One thing that I think is interesting to note now that we're in 2022, and I'm also, not a child anymore watching this movie, is how prevalent sexual harassment is in the world of Bridget Jones, and it's just treated as something entirely blasé, and that just happens. And even the stuff that happens between her and Hugh Grant's character is basically
no, especially
it's not just like it's exploitation.
Yeah, when they're in the elevator with Tits Pervert. Or Fitzherbert, technically, and he just grabs her ass. Even the writer of the books has commented on this, saying that, like, back then, that was funny. It was just played off as a joke. So I guess I should say, thank you, Me Too movement, for basically being like, oh, no, that's actually not, funny. Not to be the thought police or anything like that, but to speak to the audacity of how that's actually not okay. That should not be played for laughs. That should be played for drama.
You can see in like Bridget Jones's face like how surprised she is, and obviously she's been fantasizing about this guy, so like she doesn't not want it.
Yeah,
but it's still completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's her fucking boss. They're in a fucking elevator. There's no fucking, informed consent that's happening there.
Yeah.
And then, fucking Tits Pervert. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, Tits Pervert.
Yeah. I love the music that comes under him every time.
Why don't you introduce me first, and then looks down at her breasts before he walks away? It's fucking disgusting. And then you have Uncle Jeffrey.
It's the Jaws music, right? The Jaws music is kind of like under it. It's like dun.
It might be. I didn't notice that. But
it's similar.
It's definitely meant to evoke that.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Uncle Jeffrey for a second, though? Talk about fucking sexual harassment.
My little Bridget. Oh, hey, Uncle Jeffrey.
Talking about things in this movie that gave me the big fucking
yeah, Uncle Jeffrey, quote, actually not my uncle, someone who insists I call him uncle while he gropes my ass and asks me the question dreaded by all singletons. Love that word, by the way. So, how's your love life? Utterly disgusting. And of course, I missed the first time I watched it that it's Uncle Jeffrey who decides to do the Tarts and Vickers themed garden party.
Yeah, and then conveniently doesn't tell Bridget or her father that they changed it at the last minute.
Or a few other guests, too, who are hiding behind bushes in shame. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, and nobody's actually okay with the way that he is, because he goes and he goes ba ba and like grabs her little bunny tail, and his wife Auntie Una is like, oh, Jeffrey, stop it. And even her mom like comes in and she's like, Jeffrey, stop it. Like everybody's like, please stop. But like at no point does this man ever fucking stop what he's doing. He's so gross.
But I have to say one thing that's kind of clever. I don't know if it's clever, but I like it in the screenplay. Is that Uncle Jeffrey, when she's like, so is this new boyfriend of yours? And she says, oh, well, he couldn't make it because he's working. And he goes, a likely story, probably running away to the next one. You find out that Uncle Jeffrey is right because one sleazy bastard knows another one when he sees it. And he's absolutely right. Yeah. Uncle Jeffrey nailed it when he said, oh, a likely story, because sure enough, Daniel Cleaver made up that whole story so he could go off and fuck with, literally, Laura from New York, the skinny-ass American who's far less attractive, and literally says when she's sitting on the bathtub, "Oh, I thought you said she was thinner." It's like...
Which I made a note of, and I wrote, "You're not fat, Bridget. You got a hot bod. Don't let that Twiggy bitch convince you otherwise."
Yeah, fuck the Twiggy bitches.
We're not body shaming anyone,
No.
but please, Bridget, love yourself more.
Love your body.
Fuck, what was I was about to fucking say. Okay, so going back to how funny the mom is when she gets into that relationship with Julian, the jaundiced Julian, and she phones Bridget and she's like, says, "Hey," you're like, "What's going on?" You know,
What's going on?
she's like saying, you know, she basically is like, "Oh, I'm not quite sure that Julian isn't actually kind of like a shit." And then she says, "The sex is still very surprising, though. You know, just the other day, I was dozing off and I felt a huge something." And she's like, "Mom, I gotta go." And she's like, "Okay, well, you see you."
Yeah.
But it's just like the delivery of the line was just always so perfect to me. Because I'm always just like, "Oh no." Or the have it off with the wisecrack egg beater.
Yeah, can we just... I just want to highlight really quickly how when you first see the mother character in the wide, when the camera moves inside, you first meet her at the doorway when it's the turkey curry Christmas party or whatever. They film it.
Gherkins.
They film it at a Dutch angle, which is interesting. Yeah. Why do they film it at a Dutch angle? Well, probably because one of the first lines the mother has is, "By the way, the Darcys are here. They brought Mark with him. You remember Mark? He used to play in the paddling pool. He's a barrister. Very well off. He's divorced, apparently. His wife was Japanese. Very cruel race." Literally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the first note I made.
Moments later, she says, "Is that what you're wearing?
Yes.
Don't be ridiculous. You want to get a boyfriend and not look like you just wandered out of Auschwitz." Now, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I missed that line.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yeah.
Let's just
hear
talk
it
about
very loud every time.
for a second how that has not aged well, but because of how poorly it has aged, it's like almost even more hilarious. Because I think even at the time they were writing that to highlight how out of the time she is.
It's supposed to be offensive. It's like coming home and it's like, "Oh yeah, your parent is just fucking casually racist, and now you gotta fucking put up with it." And then she goes to go change into whatever her mom like laid out for her, and she comes downstairs and
looking like a carpet.
Literally one of the ugliest fucking things I've ever seen. And she's like, "Great, and I was wearing a carpet." And she's not wrong. That literally looks like the costume designer made that out of quilted fabric.
She probably did. Yeah. She probably read that note saying, "I look like carpet," and she was like, "Oh, fuck, I can't wait to make this dress." Literally goes out, buys a rug, cuts some sleeves into it.
I'm like, whoever would have worn something like that? It literally looks like the fabric of a blanket.
Which I love the shot of where you finally meet Mark. Not finally, it's the beginning of the movie, but you meet Mark Darcy, and he turns around, and there he is, Colin Firth, Mr. Darcy from the BBC series.
Maybe he's Mr. Right.
And the camera then pans down to this horrible Rudolph the Reindeer sweater, which is such a good laugh. Such a good laugh. I love that. I love that they're playing on audience expectations because they already know what the audience is aware of. Because I didn't know this, but one of the original screenplay writers on this film was the showrunner of the BBC miniseries Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
Really?
Oh.
And Hugh Grant didn't like the script, so he made a stipulation that I will only be in this to play Daniel Cleaver if I have one of my other writer buddies come in and do a rework on the script. You can probably guess that he did because Hugh Grant's in the film. Mm-hmm. But that was an interesting note. Yeah. I didn't know that one of the screenwriters on this was from the BBC series.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, that's great.
I have other fun facts related to this film. I'll shout them out whenever you're ready for them.
He's so prepared.
Well, one thing that I'd just like to say about this movie is, like, I wish we could get back to a time where a movie like this comes out and it's got this sort of a cast. We've got two people who have won either Best Actor or Best Actress in the leading roles of this 90-minute rom-com.
Yeah.
And I wish we could get back to a time where you could make a movie like this, attach those kinds of stars, release it in theaters, and have it be a hit. Because nowadays, this sort of movie would come out on Netflix.
Sandra Bullock actually
That's
wrote,
why
like,
I
a
like
whole
The Lost City.
on.
That's why
That's right. Sandra Bullock, she did this whole article interview where she talked about the modern rom-com instead.
That's why I championed The Lost City on my Letterboxd reviews, because what you're describing, Zach, is exactly what The Lost City was. Channing Tatum, Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, Daniel Radcliffe, all starring in a big budget rom-com, and no one fucking went and saw it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was.
I'm not gonna lie, like, our audience had a fucking blast.
That's right. Yeah, no, it was really fun. That was a good good picture. But I agree with you, Zach. Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Renee Zellweger was nominated for an Academy Award for her role as Bridget Jones. She lost to Halle Berry.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
for Monsters Ball?
I haven't seen Monsters Ball. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen Monsters Ball.
Okay.
No, I've not.
But
actually, no, I take that back. I have seen it, and I was viscerally uncomfortable.
Okay, good to know. But how often are people nominated for the best actor category from a comedy? That seems
Almost
like
never.
It's also from a bygone era.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think it'll probably happen this year with Michelle Yeoh and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's a rarity.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't even know if I would
general,
qualify that as a comedy.
That's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
It's comedic. I don't think it's a comedy.
That's a comedy.
I think it's
That's a
comedic.
comedy.
I think it's a
Rom-com.
comedic.
For sure a comedy.
I think it's a comedic adventure action film. I don't think it's a comedy.
It is a comedy. It's a genre comedy.
It's
but
less
it's
of a comedy than Bridget Jones's Diary. That's for sure. And she still got nominated for best actress for that one. So I don't know. I don't really know exactly what we're arguing about right now, but I'm having a great time.
It's because we thought you were talking about Bridget Jones's Diary, not Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, no. Everything Everywhere All at Once I don't think is a comedy. It's funny, but it's not a comedy.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if it's necessarily like a comedy. Anyways, one of the things that I absolutely love about Bridget Jones's Diary
Hit us, Alexis.
is
What is
the confession. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It's
is
super
how
sweet.
like, you know, she thinks that this guy fucking hates her. He thinks that she thinks that he thinks that, like, she is beneath him at this point.
Yeah,
you know?
one of the things that he says about her at that initial party is that she is a verbally incompetent spinster. Which,
who
like,
smokes like a chimney, drinks like a fish, and dresses like her mother.
Yeah.
damn, like
The burn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh.
Darcy continues to be Mr. Darcy. He puts his foot in his fucking mouth.
Yeah. But then at the dinner party that they go to, that Bridget has been dreading because it's literally just all married couples, and I do love the comedic kind of like thing where it's like all these couples, they look alike, they smile the same, and all of their greetings are like almost the same, and that's kind of, I don't know, like the vibe of like couples in general, I think, from this era, where it's like, oh, they've been together so long that they've started to merge into one being, like the Thing, you know? But she...
It's a great analogy. That's a fucking
an
great
excellent
analogy.
reference,
I love that.
Alexis. I love that.
Thank you.
Sick reference, bro. Your references are out of control. Everybody's
They're
saying it.
totally tubular, my dude.
Yeah, but so like she's like trying to leave, and Mark comes down the stairs, and he's like trying to stop her, and she's like, what the fuck do you want? And he's like, oh, I like you. And she's like, okay, well, oh yeah, he tells her that you know, I don't know, well, you know, your mother's pretty interesting, you know, you're terrible at public speaking and all these different things, and he's like, but what I'm trying to say is that I like you. And she says, oh yeah, apart from this and this. He's like, no, I like you very
Exactly
much,
as you
just
are.
as you are.
Yeah.
And my mom, that's probably the reason why my mom loves this movie so much,
Yeah.
is for that line.
And then
in
she's
itself.
having
She
dinner
thinks
with
that
her
is the
friends
most
later,
romantic
and she's
thing.
talking about
Yeah.
how, oh God, I hate this guy. He does this and does that, and then he said this thing, and her musical pop idol star of a friend was like, right, and the guy who said this is the guy you hate, right? Like
She's
to try to hint to him, like, that is one of the sweetest things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Great moment. Great moment.
Yeah. Another thing that is perfect in this movie is the fight sequence that they do.
Oh, yeah.
Completely unchoreographed.
Because
we were right, Alexis.
Okay. Yes, because so originally they had somebody to choreograph the fight, but Colin Firth and Hugh Grant both agreed that these guys are gentlemen. They would not be fighters. They would probably not even know how to fight. Just let us do our own thing.
Yeah.
And that fight in that movie is exactly what they would do in real life,
It's so
apparently.
good.
I made a note that I could take either of these British men blindfolded with 2 broken legs. Like,
Yeah.
they
It's
are
so funny.
just flailing about.
I think that as well, but at the same time, I also am not a fighter, so if I were to have a fight with these guys, it might still be the exact same thing.
Nah, Mick, because you know why? You're not British. I've seen a British person in a fight, and he got his ass kicked.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't know that this was a thing.
Yeah, they're not a tough people. They're not a tough people.
And yet,
I mean,
yeah.
there's some that I wouldn't want to take on necessarily. Maybe the women. I don't know if I would want to take on
I wouldn't want to
women.
fuck with Tom Hardy. I wouldn't want to fuck with Tom Hardy.
That's fair.
It's literally what I was about to say.
I mean, I would still be bottom, but I still wouldn't want to fight him. I would take him, but just not in a fight.
Yeah. And that's that classic filmmaker's
Meanwhile, my
flame.
parents are in the other room listening. Do this right now. I love you guys.
They're like, Mick, bottom what? The bottom of what?
Bottoms up.
Oh, your bottom is up.
Oh, yes.
Sure is.
What else is new?
Tits McGee.
We're dragging into the hour and a half zone.
Shut up.
That's because someone was late.
It's because we had to
Yeah.
stop and stuff. Okay, we're gonna clear it up right now.
Let's get into
cute.
some final thoughts.
It's cute. That's all that I gotta say.
It is cute.
Yeah.
Mick?
I will agree. It's a cute film. It's a great time. Apparently, there is a 4th one in the works now, as reported by Yahoo Entertainment last month. I did not know that this was a trilogy originally, which, by the way, made history as the first trilogy ever done all by women as directors. I haven't seen.
I didn't know that.
I haven't seen the sequels yet.
I've seen the sequel, but I never saw the 3rd movie.
Well,
You haven't seen Bridget Jones's Baby?
I have not seen Bridget Jones's Baby
Me neither.
because there's no Hugh Grant.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
They replaced him with
And-
Patrick Dempsey.
And I was like, boo.
But buckle up,
That's not what I
fuckleheads.
want.
There's a 4th one on
No
the way.
Mr. Mungo?
Yeah, we need the Mungo.
Yeah, and
we
also
need Hugh Mungo Grant on the case.
my last
Exactly.
little fun fact is apparently this movie was attributed or blamed, however you want to put it, as the source of massively declining sales of Chardonnay. Prior to this film, Chardonnay was considered sexy, but after this film, only red wine was in the vogue. So apparently,
Why?
because
she drinks
she
Chardonnay
downs
when
red
she's
wine.
fucking depressed.
Women all around the world only wanted to drown themselves or their sorrows in red wine after this movie came out and wanted nothing to do with Chardonnay. So there you go.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, I myself, I prefer red wine.
I
don't
prefer
like
red
white
wine
at
as
all.
well.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
a red wine podcast.
Yeah, and I'm
that's
a
right.
sad
For anyone
bitch,
listening,
so-
fuck white wine. Red
Yeah.
wine, that's the
If
shit.
you want to be a sad bitch like us, drink red wine.
You need
This
the
episode is
tannins.
brought to you by red wine.
That should be your first New Year's resolution, folks, is more tannins in your life.
Yeah, this is brought to you by Menage a Trois. Have a Menage a Trois.
Have a
like
menage
Bridget
a
Jones
trois,
in this
just like the
movie.
film
Because
majors.
we are a menage.
We are a
We
menage a
are!
trois.
I mean, like, it's
Mick's
more.
the bottom.
Yeah, I was about to say Mick is kind of our tether.
That's true.
I was listening to a prior episode where we were talking about subleasing Mick's ass. And
Which,
I
by the way,
died.
there's still open vacancy.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
gonna
if you
get-
can fit them.
Wide open vacancy, folks.
Well, I think that could probably bring us to the end of Bridget Jones's
Sure.
A
Diary.
walk-in
Yeah.
closet over here.
All right.
Wow.
I'd just like to say we're at the end of 2022, and all of you, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Honestly, it's been performing very well. Thank you for actually giving a shit about what we have to say.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I mean, honestly, if I ever get paid to just shoot the shit with you guys, I think that might be a dream come true.
Hell yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's necessarily my goal. I'm keeping this as just something that I'm really enjoying doing, and it's pretty much the only creative, consistent thing that I have in my life, so I'm really holding on to it.
Yeah, it's been a blast for me, and yeah, more great things to come in the new year. Next month, we can officially announce January is going to be our 2022 recap month. Mm-hmm. And for our first episode of the year, we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to run through our own personal top 10 lists of the year, and our subsequent episodes, each of us is going to pick a movie that we want to talk about from this past year. So, yeah, we don't have a streaming service to tell you guys to go to for
new releases.
This next episode, because we're going to be talking about a lot of movies.
Yeah, but they're gonna. I mean, it's only gonna be like what hour and a half of us just kind of recapping some lists and stuff and things we liked about them. So
it might be a long episode. Who's to say?
You never know.
Who knows?
I've got a lot to say.
You always have a lot to say.
That's true. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah. Well, if you guys want to find us on social media, you can find us at Film Majors Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And yeah, we've gotten a couple of listener emails this year. This is my goal for the new year, so please do not let me down, guys.
Yeah. Send
us more listener emails. We wanna interact. We want to hear from the people who are hearing us. Our email is filmmajorspod@gmail.com. So,
yeah, especially since the year is coming to a close, if you do actually go and see any new movies during the year, like, shoot us your, like, top few movies of the year. That could be fun.
We would like to discuss them and critique them.
We'll see if anything lines up.
Yeah. If you critique us, we'll critique you, so please.
Yeah, stab me in the heart, I'll shoot an arrow back.
There you go.
Alrighty, and on that note, let's get our tits tatting on out of here.
That's right. Have a happy New Year's, everybody.